What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of your weekly auction flips brought to you by autoauctions.io. This is the place you need to go if you want to find out the true history of your salvage vehicle. But as I always say, it doesn't just mean salvage vehicle. Not all cars have a salvage title when they're wrecked. Some of them have clear titles and they still run through Copart or IAA auctions, and you'll never know. But you can use autoauctions.io and you can see the pictures if your vehicle was brought through Copart or IAA, just like the ones you see in front of me here today. So let's jump into this. Number one on my list is a 2018 Chevrolet Corvette. We're going to start at the very bottom, and you can see 10 months ago it was in Hueytown, Alabama. Did I say that right? I don't know. Obviously, some pretty serious front end damage here. Yeah, that's my God. I mean, it's not the worst carnage I've ever seen, but that's pretty rough. And you also have to consider, look at that. This is the ZR1. I guess I missed that. Wow. Like I said, I don't look at these prior to pulling them up on the screen here. I do this live for you guys so that my reaction, my impressions are as legitimate as possible. So you got to think. A car this expensive being totaled, and it's new, there's a lot of damage here. There's a lot of damage here. It would take a ton of damage for the insurance company to total this. So it doesn't run, it doesn't drive, but it does have keys, sold for $17,200. Estimated repair cost around $60,000, 71% damage ratio. Man, oh man. Okay. Let's see what they did to it. It's cars like this. I don't mind buying a salvage title car. I really don't. But something like this, I wouldn't buy it. I would not want to own a car that looked like this. So here we go. You can see here, it looks like they tried to shove the hood scoops back in. They put a headlight back on it. And 7 months ago, it sold for $18,700. So when you factor in Copart fees. Doesn't look like they really came out all that well on it. So they cleaned it up. You can see all the hoses and lines that were hanging out everywhere. That's all been moved. So they've definitely tried to make it look better, but don't let it fool you. This thing is still in the same horrible, horrible condition that it was in. It's just been doctored up a little bit. Man, that back window smashed out too. Rear quarter damage, entire front end, airbags. Like this thing is in bad shape. Really bad shape. So this time it sold in Austell, Georgia. So you can see it's definitely made its way from Alabama to Georgia. Let's see what happens to it next. Here it is in Marlboro, New York, 5 months ago for $46,500, guys. $46,500. Wow. I hate pictures of cars when they're wet, because wet cars really hide a lot of damage. Power steering issue. Drive with care. Okay, so it's running. It's absolutely running. You can see that it's running here. The tach is there. Boost pressure. Yeah, it's running. And look at all the lights on the dash. Airbag, check engine, power steering fault, brake light, ABS light, traction control light. Man, this is that. What is this? Is this 650 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque? So obviously it still needs a lot of work. And basically it's been doctored up. It looks decent in the pictures, but this is one you really need to go see in person. And I don't care. I don't care how good this car looks. I'm not interested in it. I wouldn't buy it. Period. Next on my list is a 2016 BMW 740. And we're going to go all the way down here and you're going to see what this thing looked like. This is another one. I wouldn't touch it. I just wouldn't touch it. You can see it sold $16,800 in Vallejo, California, and then $18,000 in LA, and then $19,700 in Wilmington. And look at the difference. I'll stop right here. Look at the difference between the bottom pick and the top one. Wow. So here's what it looked like. Oh, man. It's just not limited to front-end damage. Look at the side damage. You've got pretty significant quarter damage over here. Quarter damage here. Door damage. I mean, basically, just about every panel of this car is buckled. Blown bags all the way around. Rims and tires are damaged. Like, this thing is just in bad shape. Doesn't run, doesn't drive, but it does have keys. Estimated retail value, 50 grand. Sold at a pure sale for 16.8. All right, let's take a look at number 2 here, where it sold for 18,000 in LA. Okay. It doesn't to me it doesn't look any better. Boy, look at that quarter damage there. Man. Okay, so someone probably tucked the airbags or something, tried to make it look a little better. All right, so 18 grand. Now, the finale, 19.7. And after all the work to make it look like this, it went from the original sales price of 16.8 to 19.8. Where's the profit? Where's the profit? I don't see any room for profit there. So you can tell by looking at this, this was just thrown together and doctored up. It looks like the panels aren't even on properly, so I guarantee you no real work was done underneath to the frame. You still have all the quarter damage. I mean, they made it look a lot better. They did. I won't dismiss the amount of work that they put into it to make it look like this, but it's still not something I would buy. Not in a million years. No interest in this at all. None. I guarantee you start taking all these plastics off and looking underneath, you're going to find a car that has been seriously rigged up. It's probably held together with zip ties. Engine starts, it does not run and drive. Interesting. Here we have a 2014 Mercedes CLS 550. You can take a look at the bottom picture here, see what it looks like when it arrived at Copart from the insurance company, and we gradually go up. We go from 7,300 from Tucson, Arizona, 21,800 in Los Angeles, California, and look how much better it looks, right? And then in Walton, Kentucky, 18,000, and then eventually in Denver, Colorado, 12.5. So 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, and 2 years ago. Interesting that we get to see this much of a car over the course of a couple years. So we'll start with the insurance company where it sold for $7,300, and we'll take a look at it. I mean, this one doesn't look too awful bad in my opinion. Oh, scratch what I just said. Oh my God, look at that. Look at the subframe down here. Down at the bottom, you see the subframe? Look at the alternator hanging off, like everything underneath the hood of this has been displaced. This is, whoa. Kind of at a loss for words there, guys. Sorry about that. I wasn't expecting that. I did not see that kind of damage from this picture, I guess. Wow. Okay. 7,300 bucks, 19,800 miles. Yeah, we got to move on because I'm dying to see how this thing progressed. 21,000, so it reached a high point here at $21,800 in Los Angeles, California. Has keys, does not start, does not run and drive. So where did they get these parts from? I mean, must have been off of another damaged car. Maybe it was a body shop that had these wrecked parts, and they just intended to put the damaged parts on to make it look better and make a profit. And if that's the case, they absolutely did. It worked. Wow. Maybe not. Look at this. Under the hood, it actually looks like they put it back together. Your charge pipes are there. Your intake runners are there. Your intake tubes are there. And down here, you can barely see it, but it looks like the air conditioning condenser is there also. Very interesting. So maybe, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. Perhaps this car was put back together. Perhaps it was actually rebuilt, and it ended up at the auction again from the damages that it incurred right here. That's a possibility, I'd say. So here we go. A year ago in Walton, New York. What's wrong with it? Okay, it looks like it's fixed again. Oh, that's strange how it would end up back here. Very odd. It runs, it drives. You can see it's had several thousand miles put on it. It had 19,000 miles to begin with. It's got 23,000 now. So it's been driven. it's been used. You know, you don't put 4,000 miles on a car that was in that kind of shape. You know, right here, you don't put 4,000 miles on this unless it's been put back together, and it's got to be fairly reliable, right? And now, here we go, 6 months ago in Denver, Colorado, it really baffles me as to why this car is just bound. Oh, hail, it got hit again. The poor car got hit again. So this, I can tell you for sure, the car was put back together, absolutely. The car was rebuilt, and here in Denver, not too long ago, they had a really bad hailstorm, and it got totaled out by the insurance from the hailstorm. So this is just, this poor car, it looks like has just been, and see, now it started with 19,000 miles, now it's got 27. That's crazy. Like in 8,000 miles, this poor car has been totaled repeatedly. This is one salvage, wow. Says it has a walled body kit with Asante wheels. PDR that. It could be fixed. But you know, a car that was in this bad a condition to begin with, would you buy it? Comment below. I personally wouldn't. I wouldn't. If I knew about this kind of damage, I wouldn't touch it. But maybe you would, because you can save a ton of money. Look at this. This car sold for $12,500 as a runner and a driver with hail damage. That's not a bad deal. And last but not least, I wish I could see some of your faces right now. You like, what in the hell is this guy doing? Yes, we have a 2017 John Deere tractor, only because I'm from Oklahoma, and this just cracked me up. All right, so originally sold by a third party in Houston, Texas, and then again by a third party in Dallas, Texas. So you can see it sold for $17,700 and then again for $22,300. We'll take a look at this. This wasn't damaged. This isn't salvaged or anything like this. Just a tractor. I thought it was kind of cool, man. Look at that. The tractors are computerized now. I thought these things were, you know, had just like old gasoline engines with carburetors or diesel motors with carburetors. Look, this thing's got a computer on it. Look at that. A John Deere 5075E. Boy, I'd like to have one of those. I'd ride it up and down the road. All right, let's see. Let's see if it looks any different here. No, it looks exactly the same. It's still a John Deere tractor. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I got to get out of here, though, because it's late and I'm running way behind. I got to go do the Copart walk around for you guys so you have content for tomorrow. So I have got to bounce, and I've got to look at cars to potentially buy this week as well from Copart. So I got to get out of here. But I hope you enjoyed the content. Thanks to Nick over there at autoauctions.io for sending all this over to us. Remember, click the link in the description. Check out the true history of your salvage, or not necessarily salvage vehicle, I should say. It doesn't have to be salvage. A lot of clean title cars run through Copart and they were wrecked. So keep that in mind. Check out autoauctions.io. We appreciate you. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you very soon in the next one.